What's up, everyone? I'm Scott.
And I'm Jason.
And you are listening to Liquid Carnage. We apologize for being off last week, but we are allowed to have lives. Jason was busy off at the land of the Magic Kingdom while I was still slaving away because there is no rest for the wicked.
Yes, no, I was definitely the 3 hour time difference is hard to adjust to. Every time I tried to find a time that we could do it in is like, oh, this is not going to work. Just the time difference made it even difficult. So we apologize, but maybe you guys had a week off to relax as well.
Well, and I'll be completely honest with you now, and this is an industry trade secret that no one else knows except for me, and I'm about to share with you for the first time that if we don't actually record on Mondays, there's a strong chance when I say, yeah, I'm good for whatever day the rest of the week to record, I will forget when that time shows up.
That's true. I've learned that I have to send a little friendly
You
reminder.
have to literally remind me if we even get to a Tuesday at a normal recording time, you have to remind me. Otherwise, I am off doing God knows what, God knows where. I just don't. I space it out because my life just starts going again. I'm on to the next thing,
Well, and what we found a couple times now that when I'm gone, if we don't record before I leave, it's really hard for me to fit in time to do it when I'm on vacation.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just hard.
That's your downtime, though. You're out making memories and whatnot, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, we have some 10 great listeners. We appreciate you guys. We really do from the bottom of our hearts. But
Yeah, those 10 people just love us and they just keep coming back. So we
but
appreciate it.
but I feel like we have enough catalog episodes after all these years that if you miss us with a fresh episode, you're always welcome to go back and listen to one of our greats like Deal Breakers or Avril Lavigne and the Lizard People. Like there's so many great hits that we've got over the years.
I think also it's kind of fun to see things that we predicted 5 years ago and if it came true or not.
Oh man,
We
I,
have a
I,
few of those episodes too where we made like some bold statements and got to 5 years later to see if they actually came true.
we should revisit that for an episode. I'm curious to see if any of those predictions did in fact come true.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was a little late on the Rams winning the Super Bowl, but I mean, a little early on the Rams winning the Super Bowl, but I'm sure I probably said it 5 years ago.
Oh, I'm sure you did, and I'm sure you probably said it every year for 5 years too. But hey,
I probably will. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Because you know what? Even a broken clock's right twice a day.
exactly. So like once again, we do apologize, but life happens. It gets in the way. We're not your source for hard hitting news. We're just two guys having a conversation that you guys want to chime in on, and we appreciate that. So thank you.
I did get to make some memories though. We had a chance to, I think everyone has a certain. Maybe it's just generationally, but in the last 2 or 3 generations, the first time that a kid gets to go see Mickey Mouse at Disney World, Disneyland, and see the big castle and the Magic Kingdom and all that stuff, it doesn't matter. I mean, Disney World was created 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And we had a 5.5-year-old that wasn't even a glint in her parents' or grandparents' eyes, even, who got to go for the first time and was just awestruck by the magic of seeing Disney World for the first time.
Yeah, that's cool, man. To see that feeling, that excitement come through their eyes, and just all the fun, like they can sense the excitement just like oozing out of them.
And I'm not sure if it's our society, if it's the way that parents raise kids, but when we first got to Disney World, you walk into the park and you see the big castle at the very end. But at a moment when they first opened, they had all the characters, Disney, Mickey Mouse and Goofy and Donald Duck, and every single kid that was standing there started screaming and waving at all those characters. Like they just knew and they got all excited. And I was like, wow, man, we trained our society just to kind of get excited about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but then now I'm going to ask a weird question. You got to humor me on this. Were there a bunch of grown ass middle aged men waving at like Jasmine and Ariel and all those princesses when they saw them?
Yeah, there was a lot of people that were waving at the Little Mermaid, Ariel. Was it
Not what I.
Ariel?
It's not what I said.
What did you say? You said the old
Creepy
men
middle aged
wait.
men, like middle aged men.
Yeah,
Okay, you said
waving at
people.
Ariel. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you said people. I specifically asked for the weird, creepy demographic. Were they out chasing those princesses down to
Some might
wave?
argue anyone over the age of 10 becomes creepy. Anyone over the age of 10 that's creepy waving at one of those characters.
That's fair, unless you have a child in hand that you're pointing the crit character out to.
Now, if you see a creepy old man that's like flashing Ariel or something crazy like that, then yeah, we didn't see any of that. But there were a lot of old men that were waving at their. I think there was also a lot of old men that could have cared less.
Yeah, I get that.
Now, and I don't know about you, but Disney World, Disneyland are dry parks, so you can't drink there. And that was having an impact as well. Everything I did at Disney World I was sober.
Oh, that always
hard. So yeah, so a lot of that was like, wow, wouldn't this be nice if I had a beer in my hand?
Well, let me ask you this: how many times, as in your 50 years on this planet, how many times have you been to Disneyland?
A Disney park, I've been maybe 5 times.
Okay. Well, how old were you when you went for the first time?
Oh, the first time I went, I was 9 years old. I went with my grandfather. I was spending a week with him back when I was a kid, and we lived in Alaska. 2 weeks out of the summer, I would, by myself, mind you, fly down from Anchorage or Juneau to spend time with my grandmother for a week and then my grandfather for a week. And my grandfather lived in Los Angeles, hence why I'm a huge Rams fan. And one year he and his girlfriend took me to Disneyland for the day. And that was my first experience with that whole thing. And I remember that, my grandfather was probably in his late 60s, but he was walking around and showing me all the, Mickey Mouse stuff. And obviously it's changed a lot since I went, but that was the first time. And even then it was like, because they had Space Mountain, they had the Matterhorn. This is Disneyland. They had the Matterhorn. They had a lot of the big rides that were available. And so as a kid, I remember that to this day. It's like, wow, I'm seeing this for the first time. And at Disney World, obviously, some of those rides are there. Like they have a Space Mountain at Disney World. They have, the It's a Small World ride. So they have a lot of those rides there too. But now with the Marvels and now with Star Wars, that takes up a lot of the
I'm sure
the properties.
Sure it does. It's funny. I remember I was probably 4 years old the first time we went to Disneyland, and I was still a little young, but I remember going. I remember like going through the rides and whatnot and being super excited. I remember probably the most vivid memories I had is my grandparents went with us one time.
Okay.
I think I was in 5th or 6th grade. We went for spring break. We went for a couple days to California. We all took one car. We had a minivan back in the 90s. And man, my grandparents were troopers, man. They went on us with the rides, most of the rides. And then I remember vividly, like, I got to spend time with my grandma for a while, and my grandpa, just us. And both times we ended up at the arcade playing air hockey. And that's just something that stands out. Like we went on the rides. It was right by like Star Tours and the Tomorrowland. But there's an arcade with air hockey up there. I remember playing with my grandparents. I thought it was the coolest thing. And we would go like every other year. So because we went with friends a couple times, and I went a couple times as a teenager, and that was fine. But that one all these years later still sticks out with me. So I'm glad that we went and we did the things, because it makes a big difference in looking back fondly on a place like Disneyland.
I have to say that even as an adult now, that there's a lot of people that hold such a high importance to their memory of their childhood, that even as adults they have like year passes to go to Disneyland and see it multiple times a year. I think of my ex-wife. I mean, Debbie, she to this day probably goes, I wouldn't even know, but I bet she goes 5 times a year at least.
Yeah.
And so whatever memory has instilled, whatever memory she gathered or gained from that, she's an adult now and she still lives those memories.
Yeah, and I think that's great for people. But in those memories, for her, it resonates in Disneyland. For other people, it resonates in other parts of life. I think for me, it's every time I go to a football game down in Phoenix. I think of when I would go with my dad when we were in Sun Devil Stadium, or when I'd go with my grandparents or my grandpa, my aunt and uncle, my aunt. Just all those times. It was just so much fun growing up and like learning about the game like that. And
Okay.
it takes you back, and it really makes you, I think, feel more connected to it because there's such important people that you experience those things with. It keeps you connected to those people.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's. I think that those memories, maybe that's why we do them. Like, have you ever gone to like a fishing hole, that you've seen like, time and time again? You don't catch any fish maybe every time, but you go because you're reminded every time about the memories that you've made from the past. And that's got to be somewhat similar, right? You make
Yeah.
memories, you want to live them again and again, no matter what.
Yeah, and I think so. And I think, everyone has those. Everyone has those places that take you back, or just seeing um, things on TV that remind you of those times, growing up, or when you were with someone special at the places doing, making those memories. It just,
Yeah.
it's where you feel the most connected.
And I guess as you get older, it's easier to forget about those things.
Yeah,
Like you think about, oh man, go to Disneyland, it's going to be lots of crowds and long waits and everything's expensive, so let's not go, or let's put it off, or let's not.
yeah. Well, you forget what it's like. You're absolutely right. Because now that we're adults. I don't look at, oh man, it's so magical. It's like fuck, man. It's a 6 hour drive over there in LA traffic. Tickets are, it's going to be this much for 3 days. You don't think about all the memories you're going to make. You think about what it's going to cost, and that's not quite fair. But you realize looking back, your parents had the same, concerns back then, and you know they still found a way. So you have to find a way. And I'll be completely honest, I'm notorious for not taking vacations. I need to take more time off. I need to live the Jason Edgeworth life, and I just don't. It's
Well,
I'm used to.
yeah, I mean, we don't spend money on new cars. We don't spend money on clothes. We really don't spend money like on a huge house. Um, our money is spent on doing new experiences, making new memories, and
Mhm.
so that's why it works. I mean, like you have a brand new car. You usually have a brand new car every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah,
That's an expense that we don't pay. I mean, we don't
yeah,
have to pay that. Or maybe you're big in, not you, but the person's big into clothes, or maybe big into jewelry, or maybe, go out to eat all the time. Whatever the expense is, um, for the most part, we kind of stay away from those things and just enjoy the experiences of travel. That being said, as we get older, you also realize, you know what? I want to start. What's the point of making good money
if you
if I'm
can't
not going to spend
experience.
it and enjoy a memory?
Yeah, that's what Janice and I were talking about too, because we're trying to figure out where to take a vacation this year. We got some time without kids the first part of the summer, and we're trying to think of a place that we can go to where it's, we're good with it. Like we can have fun, we can enjoy it, and I think both of us are having a hard time trying to decide where it is we want to go and what it is we want to do. I mean, we don't really care where we go, but we want to go someplace neither of us have ever been, and I think we've in our minds we've been to all the places that we know are fun. So trying to think of a fun place that we've always wanted to go to, but can only really spend 2 or 3 days there just for a quick getaway. It's hard.
Hey, pack up and go, dude. I seriously recommend it. We talked about it before.
Yeah,
You basically just give them money. They plan a whole weekend for you. You don't have to do anything. They don't even tell you where you're going to go till you get to the airport.
yeah. I feel like that's probably what we're gonna end up doing.
Because then it's like hopefully it's a new experience, and hopefully you go someplace you haven't been to, or even if you've been there. Like when we did it, they sent us to San Francisco, but they gave us activities that we had never done before. So it made it that much easier because then I didn't have to think about it, didn't have to like plan everything out. You just give them a set dollar amount, and they take care of the rest.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what we'll end up doing. It's just hard with I'll be honest, with my line of work, I've been slow for the last 2 years because we've been in a quote unquote state of emergency. And now that it's been lifted, my job has gone back to 900 miles an hour. So for me, getting any kind of time off right now, it's difficult. So
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
I haven't, I basically worked the last 2 weekends. I'm going to work the next 3 weekends. Then it's Memorial Day, and I get that off for the most part. Then I'm back to it until July. So it's hard.
Yeah, there's a great line from a great movie that says, the guy asked her if he wanted to go to the dance with him, and she said, "No, not tonight. Maybe tomorrow." And his line was, "Every time you say tomorrow, all you'll ever have are a bunch of empty yesterdays."
Wow, were you watching Finding Forrester again?
No, that wasn't even Finding Forrester, man. I didn't even quote that one. That's a different movie.
Oh wow, good for you.
But yeah, every time we say, "Oh, well, we'll have time tomorrow," we'll have time tomorrow. It gets to a point where you know what, we don't have time tomorrow.
We don't.
Time
No.
is changing, and we gotta remember that sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and do it. Otherwise, you have a bunch of empty yesterdays, my friend.
Well,
Wow, that was deep, man. That was deep.
I'm reminded of a great philosopher, Socrates, that once said, "Oh, wind, dust, dude."
Yeah, dust, wind, dude.
Yeah,
Dust,
yeah,
wind, dude.
dust, wind, dude.
Dust, wind,
Wind, dude.
dude. That's right,
We're all
Socrates.
just dust in the wind.
That's right.
You
That's
know.
right.
Yeah, but I
Well,
think
and Noreen's got a 92-year-old father. And the reality is, not to be morbid, but we only have a few more years left.
yeah,
Do we want to take the time and do stuff with him? He renewed his passport because, as you know, I'm not dead yet, so I want to travel. I want to see things. I want to go places, and he's limited because of his disability. His eyesight,
yeah.
hearing is bad, but he's physically ready to go all the time. So, I give him a lot of props. Like, just go for it. What's the point? What's the point if unless you keep moving?
Oh, I agree, man. Until you're done, you're not done. And that's what we keep reminding ourselves, especially these days. It's we've only got so much time, so you have to make the most of it. And we're watching Janice's girls get bigger. Her oldest is starting junior high next year, and her youngest is 7 going on 17. So you want to make those memories and give them those good impressions while you can, and hopefully you catch the memories that they want to make. And I can tell you, if we decided at any point in time that Disneyland was the thing we should do, her youngest would just lose her shit. I'm not sure she can contain herself, because the excitement she gets when she finds out we're going to a pool would be that times 10 if she found out we were going to Disneyland. Like, she would explode. She would literally explode with joy. And
I will say that was the biggest thing that I was witnessing the entire trip that we were gone with Jameson, is that he looked at everything. Didn't matter where we were, everything. There was an excitement and just like an astonishment, a wow of whatever he was seeing. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And it was really refreshing to come back to the world of everything is new, everything is exciting. I've never seen this before. Those experiences, and it helped bring me back to remember that, you know what, I'm older, but we can choose to have those enjoyment, like those excitement moments in our lives with whatever we do. And I it reminded me, "Yeah, Jason, it's okay that every once in a while just be surprised and say, hey, I'm seeing something that I haven't seen in a while or haven't seen in a long time, and enjoy it."
it's funny that you talk about Jameson seeing everything for the first time and have that excitement in his eyes and that awe. And if you think about it, there are things you do to this day that you geek out over, that most people are like, what, that's kind of dumb. But if you saw it, you just like, damn, this is cool. I can't believe I'm doing this. And those are the memories that as an adult you get to make and you get to have. And there's something that really to be said about that.
Yeah, I used to have a real issue with, I would go to a place that was brand new to me, and then I would go on vacation. I'd be so excited, and everything was so wonderful, and I'd get back home, and I was immediately depressed. Like,
Yeah,
I took it to too far of a level, right? I
yeah.
let it go too high. So now I kind of temper it a little bit so that I don't get too many highs and too many lows. Just enjoy the experience, the life, and obviously doing what you care about, doing it people that you love you and you love them. It's important. It's really important.
It is. Like, we're taking the girls to Zion National Park this weekend. Janice is running a Ragnar race.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Ragnar.
yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But the girls and I will have plenty of time for checking it out and enjoying all the views and whatnot. We're going with some friends, so we'll make the best of it and have a good time. But you know, I know once I get there and everything's set up, I'll have fun. But the leading up to it is giving me more anxiety, just trying to figure out how we're going to get it done, how it's all going to get, taken care of. And I'll be honest, man, there's so much to do, and I don't have answers to half the questions I need answers to. So it's giving me a lot of anxiety to have to be able to wing it. And I'm winging it by sleeping in a tent up in 30-degree weather this weekend. So I'm not sure. You know what I'm getting at with that? Like, it'll be memories, but I'm not sure what kind, good, bad, or indifferent yet.
Yeah, I mean, I take a lot of comfort in what they know, what they're surrounded by at home. And so taking them out of that, even though it's an adventure, um, yeah, but I like my own bed. I like my schedule of events, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it. And you know, obviously alcohol helps.
Yes.
You know, it will
I
calm
will
the
be sneaking
nerves.
a lot of that along the trip. Yeah, a lot of it's going to be stowed away, so I'll be good with
Yes,
that.
exactly, exactly. So you always have that, so that's good. But yeah, no, I agree. Sometimes, have you ever had this happen where someone invites you to do something and you're kind of hemming and hawing? Oh, I don't want to do it. You finally come, okay, I'll do it. And then when you get done, it's like, oh my gosh, why was I hesitating? This was amazing.
Oh yeah.
So this might be one of those opportunities
Oh
for you
yeah.
too.
Oh, I'll be completely honest. New Year's Eve this past year, I had no qualms about hanging out with you and Noreen. I was just dreading the drive and just all those, like you said, all those little things like, we could be doing this or that. It's just a night,
Yeah,
but we got down there and had such a great time. I
it
was
was
like,
it was yeah,
it was
it was
worth the
good.
drive, like just spending the time with you guys and just those quality memories. Like, it was so much fun. But you're right.
Yeah.
You start thinking about all the little things like, we do have to do this, or we should do that, or we need to knock this out. And that really gets in the way of getting out and living your life. All that stuff is there later on. Sometimes you
It
just
would
have to
be
stop.
so much easier just to stay home, relax, and do nothing, right?
Yeah,
Because I'm comfortable with that. I know what that is, and what's that? FOMO, fear of missing
yeah, fear of
out.
missing out. Yeah,
That's what Jameson was the entire trip. Like we'd be outside in the hot weather, walking all day long. It's like 9 o'clock at night, and so the adults are kind of like ready to kind of have a cocktail, play some cards, and Jameson just did not want to go to bed. He just did not like. So he'd be sitting there, and then all of a sudden he just pass out, because he was so afraid of missing out that he didn't want to miss out because man, you guys could be doing something fun that I don't know about, and I want to know about everything.
yeah. Come back when
Um,
you're 21, kid. Then you really appreciate it,
well, maybe so, but by then he'll be like, I want to hang out with you old fogies
right?
because
Right.
I'll be old. Granddude will be really old by then.
That's right. But just to be LIVIN, baby, still
I
living.
know. I'll still be living La Vida Loca, man.
That's what it's all about. It's
Yeah.
I guess the moral of the story is if you have the opportunities, you need to take them. You need to make the most of the time you have with the people you have. And even if you think you might be slightly inconvenienced, because we are living in a modern world where most of us can work remotely, something you have the opportunity to do uh, from anywhere. As long as the job gets done, most people don't care. And I just, I think it's time to, that if you can make the most of those opportunities and make some memories, you got to, especially coming
I
out of
think,
this pandemic. It taught a lot of people a lot of things.
well, and I think also we have to be willing to adjust our mindsets about some of these opportunities as well. That, like instead of thinking, oh, we're going to Disney World, it's gonna be long lines, it's gonna be hot outside, it's gonna be blah blah, all the other expensive, all the things that could have easily come out. It was no, we're gonna go see Mickey Mouse and we're gonna go see Star Wars stuff and we're gonna, let's enjoy the moments for what they are. And then who knows when you change your vision of what you're doing, sometimes that vision creates something totally different for you.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's at. I think it's, if you suspend the adult beliefs, the adult realities of a vacation like that, you're right. Long lines, hot weather, standing all day, um, a shit ton of people. Those are all things that are not worth looking forward to. But you think about taking your grandson for the first time to the happiest place on earth and seeing the excitement in his eyes when he's seeing Mickey, or getting on the ride, spinning in the teacups, and then passing in a night from being tired of from being excited all day. You can't replace that.
Well, and let's be honest, I mean, he responds well to the same energy coming out of the older people too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when I was getting kind of goofy and messing around and stuff, he had thought he had a partner, right? He's like, "Oh, I'm not alone. We're gonna do this together." And I'm looking at it as, man, this kid's giving me the energy that I didn't think I was gonna have because whatever reason was gonna hold me back. So you add all that up, and it was good for both of us, I think. And obviously we had a good opportunity to bond with him and give him some exciting memories that he'll he'll carry those with him for the rest of his life, right? I mean, those
Mm-hmm.
those memories from our childhood shape us and shape us for the rest of our lives.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you,
you
you,
know,
you got to think about because he'll think about the first time he went to Disney World with his parents and grandma and granddude, and he'll think back with fond memories, and someday want to do the same thing with hopefully his kids and Ricky and Janice.
yeah, now the hard part is not putting so much pressure on having, well, you have to have this done and this done and this done so the experience is amazing, instead of just letting it go.
Yeah.
And sometimes just, hey, we're here, whatever happens, let's let it happen. I've seen that too, where, well, we have this plan and this plan and this plan and this plan and this plan, and it's like, well, this is not fun.
Yeah.
This is too much pressure to have a fun or have this sort of memory that's all catered to us, instead of just, let's live life, man, enjoy each other's company.
And I think that's what happened last time I got a chance to take a vacation pre-pandemic because we went off to Temecula for a week with a bunch of friends. Um, and someday we had wine tasting planned for one day and the beach planned for another day, and the rest of the time was pretty much, hey man, if you want to hang out by the pool at the resort, you do you. If you want to go into town, have at it. Good luck, enjoy. But
Yeah.
these are the only things we have planned. Everything else is up for grabs, and that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, and that's, I'm sure that everyone has certain people that they love to travel with, and other people it's like, yeah, I'm good. Let's just be friends, but we don't have to travel together because it's not
Yeah,
going to work.
yeah, and it's finding that balance as you get older too. That's
Yeah.
half the balance. So as we
Well,
wrap, oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
you need to make it a point then this year to find a nice place for you and Janice to go that is out of your comfort zone, and just go and have a good time.
Oh yeah, we're working on it. I think the problem is we're both turning into workaholics, so we need to make sure we get that beat.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's true.
but as we wrap up today's show, is there a vacation where you made a ton of memories with your kids or your loved ones that you'll never forget, or you gave them something never to forget? We want to hear about it. Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, all at Liquid Carnage. Or if you have some places you'd like our EP to look at for going to vacation this year, hit him up on Instagram and Twitter at liquid_EP.
We had a great time. I don't know if I'm not a big enough Disney person that I would say, "Ooh, I think I need to go to Disney." I did tell them, I said, I'll take Jameson to Williamsburg, Colonial Williamsburg, if you guys want to go to Busch Gardens. And they said, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. So
Maybe we'll go gamble. We don't know.
yeah, they might go gamble too. But yeah, that was the running joke. It's like, oh my gosh, Granddad's gonna Williamsburg, then you'll really be depressed. And I said, no,
Yeah,
no, no. It'll be good when you see Benjamin Franklin talking. It'll be
yeah,
fun.
yeah. You'll love it, kid. Trust me. After the first 4th of July you spend with Granddude, you'll appreciate it.
That's funny. Oh God.
Well, that being
It's
said, Jason, take us home.
Hey, thanks for everyone for listening. Appreciate you. Welcome back. That was Scott. I am Jason. And as always, if you never know quite what to say, just have yourself some liquid carnage.